Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream. We got a lot of things to go over, so let's just jump right into it. So first of all, just like the title and thumbnail suggests, we're going to talk about how there's a shift in the sentiment. We can feel it, and I can even see it in the comment section, and I feel your pain. It's not that, there's just you're just downtrodden, or you just feel like this isn't recoverable. It's just everybody's tired. They're tired of going through this whole process, and they're tired of these things that are going on. But like I said in the comments, it's like running a marathon. It's not the first 20 miles that'll kill you. It's the last ones. And we're kind of at that point. We're almost at the finish line. Just stick with me. You're going to make it. So what we're talking about today, this is Novogratz. And we did a video on price predictions, why they're worthless, but they do give hopium. So there's a little bit of a point to that. But you have to really be in this space. And unfortunately, you have to follow along about what's going on, or else you're going to get lost. And this is a prime example. First of all, I don't do price predictions anymore, like I said. But when you do price predictions, as somebody like Mike Novogratz does, it's not because that they are malicious and evil when they change things, it's just that the market changes, and there really has been. So this was just on September 28th, 2025. Mike said, hey, I think we could see 200,000 as far as like by the end of the year. This is all dependent on policy change. And we've seen that. And there's actually, the government is shut down right now in the United States, but they are working towards more crypto legislative bills to come out. And there actually was a meeting today, which behind the scenes got very heated with a lot of the exchange CEOs, but that's for another video. But when we're talking about this is what Mike says today. It pretty much he's like, look, that 200K thing shifted, and this is why it shifted. Here's my price prediction and what's going on. And he makes a couple of good points about what's happening in the market and why you need to be aware of what is actually happening. So real quick, I want to make sure that you can hear this perfectly. Let me share my tab. This is about, a little less than 2 minutes long. So just take a listen to what Mike has to say here. Pretty good.
Yeah, listen, crypto had a great start to the year, post the sell-off, put in highs, Bitcoin got to 125, and we've had a real consolidation since then. The big deleveraging that happened a week ago, that's not good for markets, right? It wiped out a lot of market makers, means less liquidity. And you can see yesterday we were down and then up 4% and then right back down. And so there's a little less liquidity in the market. It took a lot of retail leverage out of the system. And so the good news is we're less leveraged. The bad news is when Humpty Dumpty breaks, he doesn't get put together right away. It takes a few weeks and sometimes months even for markets to heal itself and regain narrative and regain momentum. I don't think anything fundamentally has changed in the crypto story. Our government continues to spend way more money than they should. And I think as long as the debasement of fiat currencies goes on, crypto is going to be seen and Bitcoin is going to be seen. But, we're in a rangy, softer range right now. And I don't see what changes that. There's a bill in DC that needs to get passed, hopefully in the next 6 weeks. If that does, I think that'll give crypto a real jolt to the upside. That, and as we get closer, every day we wake up is one day closer to the Fed governor transition. And, my base case is still we get a much more dovish, malleable Fed governor than we've had in the past.
So that's perfect, right? The sentiment has changed, but the underlying principles haven't. It's the same thing. We have a debasement trade going on. We know that all fiat goes to zero. We know that Bitcoin is one of those different stores of values and gold 2.0, even though gold is really whooping us as far as this year. So congratulations to all the gold bugs out there. But again, what he says is completely true. It's just that we had a big hassle, a big problem on, I think it was October 10th, correct me in the comments section, we had a massive amount of liquidations. And really what it came down to was there was an error with Binance, whether you want to say it was a manipulation type of effect, or if you want to say there was something wrong with Binance in the way that they actually priced their models as far as the cryptos that were there, which unfortunately other exchanges fed into them and got those oracle to those prices, and it kind of screwed everything up as everything dropped down and everything got liquidated, and it screwed up everything. Once again, another centralized exchange that kind of tanks the market. Regardless of what you believe or what it is the truth. I can only change the things that I can change. I have a small sphere of control. These are the things that I'm focusing on. So when he talks about that, it kind of reminded me of another point coming down to the last cycle. And again, you have to be in and kind of updated to things about why Mike says what he says. He goes from 200K now to 125K. If something else happens, I can see 100K Bitcoin in the cards. But as a quick reminder, I hate using TradingView. I don't know why people like this thing. Anyhow, TradingView, if I can get this right, as a time frame, when we were in the 2021 cycle, remember that? That was good times. Everything would go up and everything was great. And people forget about this. Remember, let me see if I can get this right. Roughly April. Is this again? January, February, March, April. There we are. So we had April, and this is roughly when the price of Bitcoin was around 63, 64,000, right? And then in a very short amount of time, actually it wasn't even this, we had a wick that was in from April 11th, roughly, to May 20th, you had a wick of roughly 53% drop. That was roughly in a month. And then without the wick, if you're going to go all the way down, it took until July. So you had April to May, May to June, June to July. In 3 months, you went from a non-wicked 54.87% reduction in price of Bitcoin. So I know like we're kind of bummed out because it went from 126 to, I don't know what it is today, 110. That's fine. Because in the last bull cycle in 2021, we went down 50, like I said, 50 something percent, and things rebounded. Was there much of a difference back then? Yeah. Well, first of all, we didn't have an ETF going on. Second of all, we didn't have a presidential administration that was so pro-crypto. And then third of all, we had a wacky Fed doing either cuts or raises. And it was just one of those time periods after the coronavirus, we had a massive amount of liquidity, but there was no reason for it to drop this much. But that's the market, and the market is irrational. So just remember these things as we move into the next phase of the cycle. And one more thing I would like to say is that people are talking about this gold to Bitcoin rotation. Did you know, and this is from Kobayashi Letter, great follow. They said, they talked about today, and this, of course, is a little, not inaccurate, but there was a loss over 48 hours for gold to negative 8%. Now it rebounded today, and I think it's been only down like roughly 5% over the last 48 hours or so. But in that time, from the time that from yesterday to today at the lowest point, it wiped out $2.5 trillion worth of market cap. Do you know what the market cap of Bitcoin is? Like 2.4 trillion. It wiped out the market cap of Bitcoin in roughly 36 hours. And we can't, and you don't think some of that can come into the Bitcoin ecosystem? It's beyond me. And I think there's a problem. And I think the problem is how we talk about Bitcoin to some of the gold bugs who are our brethren in investorhood. And we should be actually having a more deeper conversation with those people because we want the same thing. We want to get out of fiat. We want to leave the system behind. We want to have a store of value, and we want a debasement trade. So I don't see why we can't have gold and Bitcoin. I personally have that. And why they can't come over this side. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. These are just the things that are going on. And then also, if we take a look at ETF and just talking about volume, because people are saying, well, why is, but what's up with the price? What's up with the price? The price is always the same thing. It's always, there's more sellers than there are buyers. And then one of these things is there's been a lot of selling. I haven't covered this in the last 2 days or so, but BlackRock has been selling quite a bit. And of course, people say, it's not BlackRock selling, it is their clients, Rob. Yes, I get that. But there's 3 types of clients, essentially. You have retail, advisory, and institutional for these ETFs. And for the institutional, you don't think BlackRock gives them investment advice? They are the institutions. They can do whatever they want to, right? But I mean, if you're going to listen to anybody, why wouldn't you listen to somebody who's got 13 trillion assets under management? So you have the institutions, and then you have the advisors, which can go both ways. Retail doesn't get the investment advice, but the problem is that they look up to the people that are selling. They're like, what does he know? What do I don't know? And you guys see this on Twitter as well. There's all those posts about some Bitcoin whale took out a short, and people are like, well, if he put out a short, he must know something. Then before you know it, everybody starts selling. So I think this is one of the issues, ETFs selling off. But I don't think it's that big of a thing because it's not like it's a ton of money. This is in millions. So they sold 29, actually it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days straight, except for yesterday. They actually bought 210. And they were selling off, but yesterday was a great day for ETFs, actually. I think the total was, $500 million, which is nice because that takes account for 16th of October when it was 530 billion, then 17th was 366 million and 104 million. So this just kind of eases up on the losses that we took the last 5 days. But did you know this? And this was actually shared with me by my friend, JJ Forever, who is the most bearish person I've ever met on X. And I've told him many times, if I can get you bullish, JJ, I know that we're at a blow off top. And he was asking me the same question, which was, hey, Rob, do you think that it's the spot that's ruining this and their buys, or is it some kind of derivative play? And I thought about it. I'm like, derivatives aren't even real Bitcoin or real crypto. It's just paper crypto and paper Bitcoin, right? But then it's the same thing, is that when the perpetuals market or the futures market starts to tank, people do the same thing. They look over there and go, why are they selling off? And why are they losing and liquidated? And why is the price going down? Oh, they must know something. And it's just like a big round robin. But check this out. I did not know this until today. The derivatives market, actually, I should just start with the spot. I'm sorry. The spot market, as far as volume goes, for crypto spot volume, you can see this. Yeah. So I'm going to go the last 7 days. Let's take a look. So as of today, actually, it's not a good thing to do. Let's take yesterday. The volume yesterday was 453 billion by 11 p.m. So you had $450 billion yesterday on the spot. It's a lot of volume, right? That would move markets massively. But then take a look at this, derivatives market. In futures, it was just $1 billion. But perpetuals was $2.05 trillion in volume. Let me say that again. $2 trillion in volume on perps. Futures is futures, right? Total crypto market cap was 3.66 trillion. That's the volume that they did yesterday. And it's all paper. Like, what happened to this, the cyberpunk ethos of Bitcoin, peer-to-peer transaction that's going to change the world, and it's decentralized and it's outside the system and they can't touch us? We are becoming the system. And people are gambling everything away. And unfortunately, it tanks the rest of them. Me personally, it doesn't matter to me if people gamble and they look over there and say, what's the perps people doing? As they're losing their tail end. I'm just a buy and hold guy. And I'm going to be here for the long haul like I've always been. But I take a look at this and I'm like, I just think that we could have done better. We're kind of losing ourselves. That's just an observation. Anyhow, let me actually think about that in the comments section. But to not beat you down and have you leave here all depressed, there is some good news. The Russian Ministry of Finance and central bank have agreed to legalize payments in crypto for foreign trade. That's the Russian Ministry of Finance. Pretty good. So it looks like we're going to have some rails. Now, that could be Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lightning. That could be stables. That could be some other layer 1 or layer 2. Who knows? It doesn't really give us too much information. But I would assume it's either Bitcoin or probably stable coins, which is great. And that would lead me to the top stable coin out there, Tether. I just found this today. This is the head of Tether, Paolo Arduino. I said it right. Did you know they have 500 million participants? They have 500 million users. Just for a little context, there's like 8.2 billion people in the world, and somehow these guys, Tether, got 500 million customers. Amazing. Hats off to them. And what does that mean for you? Who cares about Tether, Rob? Well, you know what I'm going to say. It's all about the chains that are on Tether. So if Bitcoin's the safest play, I think the next safest play would be probably the rails that are going to be used for stablecoins. And those rails, as far as USDT, as far as USD volume in the last 12 months, number one, Tron. I know you think it's crazy, but people outside the United States use a bunch of Tron. Go figure. Then the next one is Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Solana. And it's always the same thing. This is being tracked by Visa because they're having their lunch eaten by stablecoins. They're going to lose market share. It's just how it goes, Visa. Sorry, I don't make the rules. And yeah, this is always, we've talked about this many times. It's always the same thing. Binance Smart Chain, Tron, Solana, Ethereum. Binance Smart Chain, Tron, Solana, Ethereum. So we'll see how that goes. And good news if you're into those projects like myself. But that is the good news. Also, bad news. Sorry. The altcoins that are really catching our eye for just legal problems. Ocean Protocol. Looks like they did some odd things in the background. They face a $250,000 bounty. Actually, they don't face a $250,000 bounty. That's not the problem. What they face is legal action against Fetch AI. Because if you don't remember, Fetch AI and Ocean Protocol, and there was one more. Tell me in the comments, I always forget this one. But it was like the trifecta. They moved together for crypto AI intelligence. And it was supposed to be like this great thing. I think it was ASI, Advanced System Intelligence, something like that. And this sounded great. Well, when you start to have partners, you start to have problems. And Ocean Protocol apparently moved a bunch of funds. So Ocean Protocol denies the allegations. On-chain data, though, points to an Ocean Protocol-linked multi-sig wallet converting 661 million Ocean tokens, which weren't doing too much, and they transferred them into 286 million Fetch tokens, and they sent them to an exchange. And that's all I know. Apparently, there's the CEO or the head of Fetch put out a bounty that says, hey, if you give me the information that I need on-chain, I'll give you $250,000 that if you can prove that Ocean Protocol did these things and actually had a sell-off. And if that is true, it's going to be a big legal battle. So if you're in those projects, I would be very leery about sticking around, but that's up for you because I can't give you financial advice. And also, this was just a public service announcement. I was kind of impressed yesterday with, there was a new ChatGPT AI browser that came out, but apparently, and this is just in case you were going to do this, I was going to do this. But Bray put this out. There's a security vulnerability we found in Perplexity. Perplexity is another AI format, which is kind of like Google, but for artificial intelligence. And they said there's a bunch of different problems with Perplexity. And then people have said that with ChatGPT coming out, they could have the same systemic problem. And if you download that into your browser, then it can actually access a lot of your files. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're in crypto, let me pull this up. If you're in crypto and you use any type of program, I'm talking about like Ledger that is on your laptop or your computer, you do anything that you have to trade on your laptop, anything that has to do with crypto, don't download squat. If you download something like that, I don't care if it's ChatGPT or from the president himself. Every time I hear about people getting hacked, it's because they downloaded something on their computer and it did something in the background. And that's not to mention there was a TradingView AI function app or something like that, which a friend of mine downloaded and wiped his computer out with all his crypto. So I'm telling you right now, if you do that, it's not a question of if you get hacked, it's a question of when you get hacked. I'm not saying it's like the worst thing ever. I'm just saying I'm trying to help you out because if you do it, I am tired of getting all these emails saying people got screwed over all their crypto. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that. And finally, before we get into Q&A, congratulations to Chakra Agents, which is built on Cardano. They finally got everything up and running. They have AI agents going on the Cardano blockchain, and it looks like things are humming along just nicely. The reason why I'm excited about this is because I'm going to use their AI agents, and they are going to be integrated into my Airbnb properties, and they're going to be answering customers' questions because I'm tired of getting questions at 1 o'clock in the morning, which is, what's the Wi-Fi password? And stupid stuff like that. So I'm excited about this so I can actually finally sleep. And you can check that out if you want to do something like with trading and tasks and things like that. There's a link in the description. You can check that out and go from there. And almost lastly, I'm sorry, is as a reminder, Kraken is still doing that deposit match thing. So I'm doing this. And the reason I have these rules, right? We have these rules underneath me. It's all gone. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. 100% scams. Everything's a scam. Tell them otherwise. Don't leave things on exchanges. Don't use leverage and take profits. I am invalidating rule number 3. And I'm going to tell you why for a second. With Kraken, they've been around since 2011. If they were able to get through Mt. Gox They were able to get through the Voyager, the Celsius, the FTX on October 10th, and they're still up and humming and doing just fine. I have to say that that is the most resilient exchange that's out there. So what this is, if you deposit funds or crypto into your Kraken account, they will match it by between 1% and 2%, depending. So, and all you got to do is do that for, it's until the end of October, and then 14 days into November, they will give you in their stablecoin your 2% reward just for putting things into their exchange, which has been around since 2011. And just so you know, it's going to be 1.5% unless we can all come together and do 500 million. Apparently there's 205,418,000 so far. So not bad. I'll tell you what, I'll put in 499 million if you guys can pick up the slack and just put 1 more million in so we can all get 2% and coming out. And that's it for that piece. Links in the description if you want to check that out. Fairly simple. What I would do is I would deposit and take it out on the 14th day. That's what I would do. And then lastly, I swear this is the last thing. If you're in the Puerto Rico area, specifically Santurce, San Juan, we're going to have a charity drive for the local animal shelter where we're going to be slinging beers and eating food and probably watching a little football. And during that time, we're going to have adoptions and also try to raise a bunch of money for one of my favorite charities, Amigos de los Animales. So again, if you're in Puerto Rico on November 2nd, which is Sunday, come on and say hi. Don't bring a wrench. That's all I ask. And that's it for tonight. So everybody, sorry that went so long. A lot of things going on. If you like tonight's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now let's get into the best part of the show, the Q&A, where you can ask me all the questions and all the things I messed up on. Okay. Oh, impaled rectum. Probably the best, one of the best handles out there. I don't think we're in the last few miles. I think we're running backwards. But yet you are correct. We are also effing tired of this S. It doesn't make a guy want to just take profits and walk away. I'm glad you stuck around for this one. I got an anecdotal story. So a friend of mine who is a big XRP whale. I'm not saying he's like the biggest whale. I'm just saying he is one of the whales that's out there. And he's got friends in the XRP community that are like big, big whales. And he sent me a text. He's like, yeah, my friend, whatever his name is, he's out. He just sold like millions and millions of dollars worth of XRP. He's just so tired of this market. He doesn't want to stick around. He's tired with the ups and downs. He's tired of the tariffs. He's tired of the hacks. He's tired of everything. He just sold it all. I was like, he sold it all? He didn't want to like ladder out? He's like, no, he sold everything. And I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, I can see why you do it. It's tiring and it gets to everybody. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. If it's for your mental health, you're like, I'm out, then get out. You know, it's not like I'm gonna look down, like anybody's gonna look down on you for making $10 million or you know, $1 million or 10,000 or an extra $500. Congratulations, you did a good job. And yeah, it's just I'd like you to hold on, but I mean, if you can't, and you're like, I think this is as good as it gets, so c'est la vie. That's it. So congratulations to that guy. He sold his XRP and he's out of there. And I think a lot of people are feeling the same way because they're tired. I don't blame them. Hey, Jeff. Agree with impaled. Yes, exactly. Hey, wow, Bitcoin down over 60. Ben was right again. He must be tired of winning. He must be. You know who must be tired of winning? Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff beat all of us. So I know people are happy about certain things, but old man Peter Schiff with his fat, huge gold bags are like, hey, I think for the year, we're up pretty good from the beginning of the year. And better luck next time, Bitcoin holders. It is what it is. I mean, I'm gonna if I beat you, handshake. You beat me, handshake. Congratulations, you beat us for this round, but there's many more rounds to come. Dag, I need to check before I send. Sorry about bad spelling. That's okay. I can't even spell either. Yeah, Tristan says, you still holding Minutes Network? No, any update? No, I'm still holding it. See how it's going. One of the products that are behind the scenes and actually are doing something. Didn't they just sign a letter of intent with Samoan Islands? Maybe that was beforehand. But yeah, and all it is, it's about telecommunications and service and end-to-end call and stuff that we need that isn't a very sexy topic, but actually can save people a bunch of money. So yeah, we can have the guys on. They can talk about it. Okay. Let's see. Wow. Tim Allen says Robinhood's doing 3% match on crypto deposits. Why? Take a look at that. I have Perplexity on one of my phones. I'm going to uninstall. It came with phone pre-install or some free. Yeah, I never use it, but now we're gonna any crypto stuff. Yeah, exactly. Install all that stuff. I don't know where that stuff comes from. Rabble Rouser, what about your fiat on-ramp? Yeah. So when we talk about like 0% exchanges, it's not don't use exchanges. It's don't leave your crypto on exchanges. Like Mt. Gox, you know, when Mt. Gox came around in 2012, 2013, and I think it went defunct in 2016, 2015, somewhere around there. If you would have taken your Bitcoin off of that exchange, you would have been just fine. Now, I don't know how easy it was back then to do it. I don't know if it was I know that they had paper wallets back then, so they could at least take them off, but you would be just fine. The same thing happened with Celsius. If you want to use the yield, you should have taken it off. Voyager, another big one, which, you know, I talked about 2 weeks before it collapsed, which I get probably wasn't enough time, but, you know, 2 weeks, hey. And if you could have used the exchange, bought your crypto, waited for the time to take it off, 24, 48 hours, boom, take it off. FTX, you could have done the same thing. Just take it off the exchange. And that's it. All exchanges are the same. And you know what's interesting? This is one of the reasons why I like Kraken. And it really comes down to Jesse Powell. He even said, Jesse Powell, if you don't remember, he's not the CEO anymore. I think he is an advisor and stepped down, but the co-founder, founder. And even he said, don't store crypto on any exchange. Warren's CEO of major crypto exchange. I mean, that's a guy that you want to have, beside you. Like, hey, good for looking out. Thank you so much. That's one of the reasons why I like Kraken. But yeah, I'll take it. Oh, Majestic Fox says, Rob, check this out. January 29th was the start of the zodiac sign year of the wood snake. And if you look at the daily chart, that's when we went bearish. There's something to be said for it. I'm not a big believer in a bunch of TA or the zodiac signs, but I mean, people always point it out to me. I'm like, it could be. And like Majestic Fox, it probably lines up, like he's saying. I wish I could have fast forwarded the top and sell and take a 12-month nap. Don't we all? The Corvair, 107. Wow, it's 107K. That sucks. Malo says, last time I got in late and watched my portfolio take a dive in the ground. Now I'm nervous thinking of bailing. Don't want it to happen again. I mean, yeah, again, like what Mike was talking about, the fundamentals are the same. One of the things that has shifted, though, is this debasement trade. And for some reason, and I can't really get it into my head as why this is a lot of people are choosing gold as the debasement trade. But I will tell you, it's going to be very jarring when the people that bought gold, which I buy gold, when they go to sell it at some point and want to take profits out. Did you know that the spread on some places it's like 3 and 3? To buy it, it's a 3% spread. Then when you sell it, they do a spread of 3%. So essentially you have to make at least a minimum of 6% in profit to actually walk away profitable. And that's just the baseline. So, and that's on a good day. Like I've heard somebody, I forget who it was yesterday, they were talking about 5 and 5. You got to make a 10% profit at minimum to be able to walk out of there and go, hey, I made something. But someone pointed out to me, they go, that's actually genius. Because if you buy gold and then you go back to sell it, and they're like, yeah, it's 5%. That's the spread. Like, F you, I'm not going to do this. And then people just holding the gold forever. So I'm like, maybe the centralized exchanges for crypto had a good idea for spreads, huh? Making everybody hodlers. Yeah, it's all how you look at it, I guess. Let's see. That's a solid lineup. Robots are coming. Yeah, I heard Optimus from Tesla is going to cost $20,000. But they also said the same thing about a Cybertruck, and that's like 70, 80,000 plus, maybe 100K. So sure. Also the bare moon, says Jimmy. Just keep on DCA. Brian says I'll probably just round trip my bag. Nothing wrong with that. Al Raj says, don't forget Jesse Powell told woke employees to GTFO. He's based and red pilled, in my opinion. Yeah, so sell Sol, not yet. You know, it's a funny thing. Sol just had one of their ETFs, which was a stakeable ETF that just got approved today. And he had it down like 4 or 5%. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is. Buy Tesla, thank me later. I think LAX guy said it a couple of times. And that's it. We'll leave it with one of the best names as far as a handle, or worst names if you look at it the other way. Impaled says, I've been steadily selling Sol in very small bits whenever over 200, 230, 250. And that, my friends, is probably the way to do things. Take those profits. Nobody ever went broke taking profits. However, take a look at which ones are appreciating over time and who have stood the test of time. And you'll figure out which one is the best one to hold. And that's it for tonight. So look, like tonight's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing when we talk about it. It's time sensitive. Don't forget 2 things. The Amigos de Solana Malice for the charity. If you want to donate to them, they take PayPal, they take Venmo, they even take crypto. And then second of all, for Kraken, if you haven't signed up already, get $25. And then if you do the deposit, it's 2% for everything you stick in there for the next like 20 days. So I'm doing the same thing. That's it, everybody. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on tomorrow's stream, which will be NFA Live. Me, Ben, Guy, as usual. And we'll be on the show on my channel tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time. So see you guys in the morning, bright and early. Adios. Have a great rest of your night.